Welcome to the ConnectWise Manage virtual training session on procurement.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Bishop, a ConnectWise business consultant and your guide through implementation training.
In this presentation, we will look at the process within the procurement module to understand how it works in ConnectWise Manage. We will also review the key actions that are available on these screens and what existing partners need to do to prepare to use procurement in ConnectWise Manage. Then, we will look at the 9-step setup process and your choices in setup tables, My Company screen, the members page, and GL mappings. We will also discuss other procurement considerations and where you can get additional information. I will give demonstrations throughout. In the ConnectWise Manage lifecycle, we've already done our marketing and created sales opportunities, which we have quoted to the customer. Once they decide to buy, we convert the opportunity to a job. The inventory or non-inventory products flow from the opportunity to a project, a service ticket, or a sales order. These products appear in purchasing demand and the procurement lifecycle begins, and that's where we are today. In the process flow overview section, we will understand the screens in the procurement module and their key actions. The procurement module contains several screens we will review today. The screens in the middle relate specifically to the procurement module. First, we have purchasing approvals, purchasing, and purchase orders. To maintain integrity in your procurement process, we need to approve all purchasing requests before moving on in the process. You should determine who can give the approvals and what will trigger the need for approval. For example, a purchase order date on a product can tell us that the item needs to be ordered. In the purchasing step of the process, we are preparing the records before the purchase is made. In this step, we create the purchase order. We can review the purchase order, the vendor company, and the ship-to address. Once the purchase order is complete, we place the order. Once we receive the product, we can stage it or prepare it for use first, if necessary, then ship to the client. When products arrive, we mark them as received on the receiving screen. The product shipment screen allows us to track the quantity picked and quantity shipped for both inventory and non-inventory items. We can reserve a specific serialized item for a job by picking it, and then mark it as ship when we send it out. Inventory transfers and inventory adjustments are useful if we have to move inventory or change the inventory counts. The inventory transfer screen allows us to move items from one warehouse to another. The inventory adjustment screen is used to increment or decrement, increase or decrease the quantity of items. Now that we have reviewed all the purchasing processes, let's look at purchasing demand. Demand is affected when a non-inventory class product or an inventory class product is on a service ticket, sales order, or project. Either way, we will see the items listed in the purchasing approval screen. This setup is critical, so we will show you how to do it. It's very important to define the product class on the item as it controls the flow of the product through ConnectWise Manage. This is a non-inventory class product. An inventory or non-inventory class product on a service ticket, a project, or a sales order will affect purchasing demand in the procurement module. Inventory products are able to be serialized as needed, and all ordering, receiving, and shipping is tracked in the audit trail. Non-inventory class refers to products that do not need to be serialized. When you order or receive them, the audit trail will not track them. There are other product class options as well, but for procurement, we must have inventory and non-inventory product classes. Now we will look at each screen and the actions we can use on them, starting with purchasing approvals, the first stop for purchasing demand. Here we have options to not only approve products, but also to get them ready to go through the system. Approved products means we are moving forward with the purchase. If necessary, we can cancel the products from the approval and ordering process. Canceling removes the item from the job and cancels the need to approve it for purchase. We can mark items as a special order. For example, we already have an item in inventory and we want to order the quantity needed for a specific job. This allows us to disregard the on-hand count, so we mark it as a special order. We can mark inventory items to drop ship. This means that rather than have them be received into our own internal warehouses, the suppliers send them directly to the end user. We can pick products to prepare them for shipping. and ship products or deliver them by any means, including your own vehicle. We can update the vendor so when we create the purchase order, that specific vendor appears on the purchase order. And we have options to remove the drop ship and special order settings if needed. We can update the purchase date. For example, once the product is listed for the job, we can define the order date for that item. This is very helpful for project planning and procurement order planning. Once the purchase is approved, the purchasing screen provides actions that allow us to move forward with the purchase. Here is where we can create a brand new purchase order. We can add items to an existing purchase order. We can cancel the products if we don't need to order them after all. Just like on the purchasing approval screen, we can also choose to mark items as a special order or a drop ship. We can update the vendor, remove the drop ship and special order settings, and update the purchase date. On the purchase order screen, we can see a list view of all purchase orders that have already been created. This is useful for filtering to see just the ones we need. For example, filter by open or received, the status of the purchase order or vendor company. Plus, we can click into the purchase order number to open it. On the receiving screen, we see purchase orders that are in an open status and have not been marked as received. By checking items here, we have the option to receive or unreceive one or several products in one step. The product shipment screen defaults to show inventory class products. Remember, all ordering, receiving, and shipping of inventory class products are tracked in the audit trail. This is also where you can pick a specific item with a serial number and reserve it for a job. We can also mark items as shipped, which will move them from the Not Shipped tab to the Shipped tab on the screen. We can also search by non-inventory class items. This will help us to pick items to stage before they get shipped to the customer site. Procurement process flow. To see the process overview, I start at the purchasing approval screen where purchasing demand is created when a product is listed on a ticket, a project, or a sales order. By clicking search, I see all items that are available to purchase. When I'm ready to move forward with purchasing, I can select one item, multiple items, or all items. In the Actions dropdown, I choose to approve the product. This moves the item to the purchasing screen. Here, I see all items that I can include when creating a purchase order. I check the box to select the item, and under the Actions dropdown, I select to create the purchase order. This item does not have a preferred vendor, so I select a vendor. The purchase order is created, and I can review the details. For example, the status of the purchase order, the date, the location and department, vendor details, and the warehouse. On the Products tab, I can see that there is one product. I click into the item and see the product ID, the description, the warehouse and bin, the shipping information. In the Sales and Service pod, I see the sales order that started the process to purchase this item. Now that I have a purchase order, I will source it from the vendor and manage the receiving of the item. In the product shipment screen, I look for the item to see the picking and shipping status. I have one quantity to ship. Since this item is non-inventory, it hasn't been received. I go to the purchase order to receive it. Marking this non-inventory item as received will automatically select it to pick. Under Receiving Information, I enter the quantity received. If needed, I can also update the unit cost. I save and return to the product shipment screen and search to refresh. This item has been auto-picked. Because I am receiving it into my warehouse, it is ready to stage and then ship to the customer. To mark it as shipped, I select Ship Products, and now it appears on the Ship tab. I filter by non-inventory items, click Search to refresh the screen, and see the shipped item. This completes the purchasing process flow. Pause this video and try it. Whether you are the CEO, the CFO, or the procurement manager, many of you have already been using ConnectWise Manage, and now you're preparing to use the full benefits of the procurement module. In that case, it is likely that your purchasing approval screen will be filled with items that you don't need to order. Let's look at the 4 steps to take before using the procurement module. First, Clear all items from the purchasing approval screen that you do not need to order. Let's see how. Select all items that you don't need to order. Your first option is to cancel products. However, you will not be able to cancel them if they have already been invoiced, so your other option is to ship products. Second, review your non-inventory class items and determine if any of them need to be tracked as an on-hand count or serialized. If so, change them to inventory class. Third, it is important if you want to track and monitor inventory class items with serial numbers. If so, on the product screen, check the box for serialized product. This way, you have the option to track the serial number on items before making any adjustments. And finally, update your inventory count using the adjustment screen so you're sure of your quantity on hand before using the procurement module in ConnectWise Manage. Keep in mind that when doing adjustments with serialized inventory, you will be prompted for the serial number along with the quantity. Now that you are ready to make the transition to the procurement module, let's review the 9 steps for the defaults and setup. This material is also listed in ConnectWise University documentation under Getting Started with Procurement. This process review includes prerequisites, tips, and links to more detailed information for each step. We start in the setup tables with sales order statuses. This helps to drive the process so everyone in the organization can see the progress and ensure that you have at least one new status and one closed status. The handoff between sales to service is critical, and sales order statuses help to determine what to do next. For example, what items are needed? Should we order now? Do we need to collect a deposit before we place the order? This is why sales order statuses are helpful. In addition to the new and closed statuses, you can have waiting on approval, waiting on deposit, payment received, waiting on products, and others. We have defaults for sales orders in the billing setup table. Choose your location. And go to the invoicing parameters section. If you need to send a sales order invoice while getting ready for the job, uncheck Bill Sales Order only after it has been closed and Bill Products only after they ship. Next, in the setup tables, we will define product categories, subcategories, and types. Product categories are major category groupings for products, such as hardware, software, and camera video. You may also want to add a subcategory or a subset of that category. For example, if we define hardware as a category, the subcategories could be servers, workstations, and telephony equipment. You might even choose the same name for a category and subcategories such as hardware. The ultimate goal is to match how you capture revenue for product sales in your accounting package. You may have revenue accounts representing hardware sales and software sales. If you have more granular listings in your accounting package, then you may need more granular subcategories in ConnectWise Manage. In brief, product categories and subcategories are first, a way you can map revenue to your accounting package, and second, a way to search for products in the system. Not everyone will remember each SKU by heart, but you can search by category and subcategory to narrow down your search. Please note, product type is not the same as product class. Product class defines the product flow within ConnectWise Manage. Product type relates to the outcome in the accounting package and tells the integration what type of product to create. Not all accounting integrations have a direct transfer option. Please check your integration documentation for details on transferring procurement. The product class and product type do not have to match, although they often do. Accounting packages typically only have 4 product types of items: inventory, non-inventory, other charge, and service. In ConnectWise Manage, you can use any description for the product type. The type cross-reference field controls the type of product that gets created. This field is hard-coded with the 4 product types. Complete the product type cross-reference in the product type setup table. Both product type and product class are required to create a product in ConnectWise Manage. Optional fields are manufacturer, which is informational only, and the preferred vendor field, which works directly with the procurement module. For example, if you know you will always buy this item from the same vendor, you can set the preferred vendor for any product. Then when creating a purchase order for that product, the preferred vendor automatically populates. In the setup tables, we have a shipment methods list where you can define a shipper and their tracking URL. Add the ship method to the purchase order. Then, when the vendor gives you a tracking number to enter, the link will take you to the shipper's tracking website so you can track the item's shipping progress. Step 3 is about setting up your vendors in ConnectWise Manage. In the company type setup table, create the vendor company type if you don't already have it. On the company finance screen, set your vendors to the vendor type. Then make sure that you add the vendor ID to match the name of the vendor in the accounting package. When transferring unposted procurement to your accounting package, a closed purchase order line item will go over as an item receipt, not a purchase order. Remember, we're managing the purchase order out of ConnectWise Manage, so we don't need the purchase order in the accounting package. The vendor ID works with that line item. Product and vendor setup. Under the System module, I right-click on Setup Tables to open the screen in a new tab. I navigate to the Opportunities category, Sales Order Status list to see different statuses, including one new and one closed status, and statuses in between to convey a process. To create additional statuses, click the new item plus sign. Now I navigate to the Products category of our Setup Tables to review where to create a new product category, subcategory, and product type. Here is the type cross-reference to match the accounting package. This field is hard-coded with the 4 types of items that an accounting package can accommodate. I navigate to the Invoicing category for the Billing Setup list to review where to create sales order billing terms. I see Sales Order Status Default. This box is checked. Now I click the back arrow and go into the Company category of the Setup Tables in Company Type to review the vendor type. Here is the vendor listing. Check the vendor flag box to ensure that the vendor description truly is a vendor company type. Pause this video and try it. Step 4 is about adjustments, warehouses, and bins. In the inventory setup tables, be sure to create adjustment types if you don't already have them. Adjustment types are used to either increment or decrement the inventory count in ConnectWise Manage. For example, a positive inventory adjustment could be new count. A negative adjustment type could be lost or stolen. Make sure you have both positive and negative adjustment types so you can reconcile your inventory on a regular basis. You can even have an inventory reconciliation type. In the inventory setup tables, we can also create a warehouse. This is a place in your operation where you keep the inventory, like a showroom floor. It could be an actual warehouse on or off-site, or it could simply be a closet. You might even have a dock area where items are received, even non-inventory items that you use as a staging area so they can be prepared for the job. Once you have the warehouses defined, you will need to define the bins. Warehouse bins are used to describe a storage subsection within the warehouse. For example, if we have a closet as a warehouse, each shelf would be a bin. The warehouse bin has specifications relating to minimum or maximum quantity and size. This is informational only to help you locate the item and does not influence purchasing demand. Adjustments, warehouses, and bins. We will access the Procurement category of the setup tables to define adjustment types, warehouses, and warehouse bins. Adjustment types are options to increment and decrement inventory. To create a new adjustment type, I click the new item plus sign, enter the type ID. Then copy and paste it in the description. I save, and now the appropriate inventory adjustment type is available. The warehouse list is to define major areas where inventory is stored, such as an engineer's car, different warehouses, or a showroom floor. To create a new warehouse, click the new item plus sign. Next, I look at warehouse bins that are associated to a warehouse. For example, on an engineer car, it could be the actual trunk that is the bin that is associated to the engineer car warehouse. The bin contains information such as the minimum and maximum quantity. This does not affect purchasing demand, it's just informational. Pause this video and try it. Step 5 is about purchasing and inventory setup options. This is found under System, My Company, in the Owner tab. Purchasing and inventory setup. To review purchasing and inventory setup options, I navigate to the My Company screen in the System module. My Company screen contains global defaults including purchasing and inventory setup options. I can enter a starting purchase order number and a prefix and suffix if needed. I choose not to check the box to disable system updates to the product catalog costing. I do check Do Not Allow On-Hand Count to go negative. The inventory costing method should match my accounting package because I have QuickBooks Pro. I will use average costing. I want to define that the system will automatically close fully received purchase orders plus fully received purchase order line items. I will not check the box to automatically approve products for purchasing since I want to review the on-hand count of my inventory items before approving them for purchase. I click Save and I'm done with purchasing and inventory setup options. Pause this video and try it. Step 6 is for general ledger mappings. Assign these in the setup tables, general ledger category, GL accounts. We will look at both product revenue mappings and inventory mappings. Map the account field to the revenue account in your chart of accounts. Map the inventory field to an asset account for products that are inventory type. Then map your COGS account to your cost of goods sold account. When the invoice goes over to the accounting package, the cost amount will move from the inventory asset account into the cost of goods sold account. If you have a non-inventory class item in ConnectWise Manage that you want to track cost of goods sold on, you can have the COGS field mapped for non-inventory items too. This is useful when the integration is creating the item in the accounting package. When you create new inventory mappings, you have several account type options. Be sure to review the university documentation for more details. Step 7 is to set up the accounting package. On the Accounting Package tab, we have Product Options. If you already have the Procurement module, you'll see the option to include procurement items, but we don't recommend that you check it. It is better to control that from your accounting interface screen where you have the same option for each direct transfer. Inventory stock on hand has a twofold purpose. Check if you want to decrement the quantity in the accounting package. For example, we sold 2 items on an invoice, so we decrement that quantity by 2 in the accounting package. The second advantage is to ensure that the item name populates the item column on the invoice in the accounting package. Accounting Package and General Ledger Setup. In the Setup tables, I search the General Ledger category to see the Accounting Package table and the General Ledger Accounts table. In the Accounting Package table, I can define inventory stock on hand by checking this box. This is useful if I need to capture inventory and cost of goods sold amount for inventory product types in ConnectWise Manage. In the GL Account table, I can create mappings. I click the New Item Plus sign to see the Account Type dropdown to see inventory mappings including inventory adjustment, inventory transfer, and product discount. Also, the revenue product mapping is where I can define the income account, the inventory asset account, and the cost of goods sold account. Pause this video and try it. Step 8 defines member settings. On the member page, under the Details tab, we have the ability to set access to a default warehouse and a default bin for the member. This member is restricted to the default warehouse. Restricting is helpful if you keep inventory in 2 places. For example, our main office is in Austin where we have inventory, but we also have inventory in San Antonio. If the technician is working out of the Austin office, we want to make sure that they're pulling inventory from the Austin warehouse even if they're working near San Antonio for the day. If needed, you can also restrict to a default bin. Step 9 is to add additional security permissions to add or limit access to procurement. Under Security Roles within each member's role ID is the option to allow the member to access the procurement screen. In this case, the admin role has access to all procurement functions. The sales role does not. Member page and security setup. On a member's page, under Finance Defaults, I can define a specific warehouse and a default bin for that member. I choose to restrict the member to access only items from the warehouse location. The role ID will ensure or deny this member's access to the procurement module. In the Security Roles screen, I can confirm if this member has the appropriate administrator access. The security role in the procurement module for admin does provide access to all procurement functions. Pause this video and try it. Other considerations and resources. Workflow rules can be created or imported from the marketplace to help you manage your purchase orders. This workflow rule looks for purchase orders 30 days past due and the order has not been received, then alerts with an activity to follow up when items are not received. In the setup tables, be sure that you have purchase order statuses set up to use with procurement and especially workflow rules. Even though we have covered these, we find that gotchas are the most common mistakes partners make that can cause big headaches. First, we want to make sure that the cross-reference on the product types are set properly. Remember, the product cross-reference from the setup table determines the actual product type that goes over to the accounting package. Product class controls the product flow in ConnectWise Manage, and while it often matches product type, it doesn't have to. For example, an item could be an inventory product type for the accounting package and a non-inventory product class in ConnectWise Manage. In this case, we're tracking the inventory stock on hand in the accounting package, but not in ConnectWise Manage. Inventory product type requires general ledger inventory asset mapping and cost of goods sold mapping on the revenue product mappings. Finally, be sure to adjust inventory count in ConnectWise Manage to match your accounting package before you start using the procurement module. There is help. Documentation covers the most common questions with answers that are asked about procurement. To find documentation, enter connectwise.com/documentation. From within ConnectWise University, click the Documentation tab, or in ConnectWise Manage, click Help, found in the top right corner of most screens. Learn more with the Procurement Partner Kit. It includes blueprints, documentation, and webinars, all in one convenient location. You can easily find partner kits using the simple link, connectwise.com/partnerkit. Let's look at updates and improvements in the latest versions. Drill into the Product ID field on a purchase order to open the product catalog. You can now use the barcode scanner on the inventory adjustment detail screen. A customer description column on the product catalog will give better filter results. The following enhancements have been added to the inventory adjustment screen: expandable list view pod, custom fields, click the serial number field to view as a text button, inventory adjustment detail. The drop ship and special order checkboxes are now available on the product screen. Quantity picked, similar to quantity shipped, is on the References tab of the product catalog for inventory products, providing more visibility into your stock. View and search for inventory and non-inventory products and see which serial numbers are listed as received, picked, and shipped. New security role for the serial number search screen provides an Inquire None with no access to the serial number search screen or icon, and an Inquire All level with full access to the screen. The labels on the RMA Full View report are more clear and consistent. Thank you for viewing this implementation training. For more information, please refer to connectwise.com/university, or you can discuss with your business consultant.